You might be looking at this going, what? What is she doing? What is she up to today? Well, hello, my name is Jennifer, and today I'm going to demystify how to figure out if your insert is going to fit into one of our folios. This will also work for the traveler's notebook, but the principle is the same. So I don't think you're going to really need one for that. But if you want to see one for the traveler's notebooks, leave a comment down below and I will make it so. All right, so I have all of these different, these are the smaller ones, so I'll get to those. But I have all of these different sized notebooks in front of me, and as you can see, get that in focus there for you. As you can see, like some of them are thinner, some of them are thicker, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, and some of them are just nice and chunky. So the big question is what size leather cover do I need, and is it going to fit? So I'm going to show you how to figure out if it's going to fit into one of these traveler's notebooks. This is an A5. All of these are considered A5 by their manufacturers. So an A5 is basically 8 1/4 inches tall. So basically it's, 8 1/4 inches tall by usually just under 6 inches wide. So okay, you're going to need a tape measure. I have this metal tape measure here. There's also this tape measure here, which you can use. What I recommend you do though is I recommend that you calibrate it, because sometimes they're off. And the way you calibrate it is by taking a metal tape measure and lining up the soft tape measure with it and making sure that it hits at the same points. And this one does. So for quiet purposes, I'm going to use this one today, and you're going to need one more thing. So there is an app for your phone. It's called Fraction Plus. Okay, it's free, and I use it every single day because I use it for work constantly. So let me show you what you need to do so that you can get what I call the perfect fit. So I'm going to start with this one here. Okay, this is a Midori notebook. Okay, I have had it for a very long time. It's the same size as the Hobonichi Cousin. It's, so I kind of use it in place of the Hobonichi Cousin when I'm sizing things to see if it will fit the Hobonichi Cousin, because it's the same size. I lost my cousin somewhere. I don't know where it went. Okay, let's get to the point. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to measure across. Okay, so take your book and butt this up against there and measure all the way across, and we're going to get a fraction here, and there goes the heater. Okay, so we're going to get a fraction, and I'm just going to, it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? I'm going to smudge it just a little bit, and I'm going to say that's 5 3/4. So we're going to put 5, whoops, back over here. We're going to put 5, so over here you do the whole number, and then over here you do the fraction, 3/4, okay? And then because we have two sides, okay, so we have the front and the back, we're going to times that by 2, okay? So that's 11 1/2. You probably can't see that, but it's 11 1/2. And you can do that in your head too. And then you're going to measure the spine of the book, okay? So you want to measure that and see how wide it is. So this is 3/8. 3/8 is just less than 1/2. So this is 3/8 of an inch wide. So we're going to add that on here. Okay, so plus 3/8 equals 11 7/8. Okay, so we're going to take this number here, 11 7/8, and in order for this notebook to fit on here, we need this notebook to be an inch longer than this. Okay, It has to be right within that inch. It can't be right up against it. So we don't want to measure this. We don't want to measure this and have this be 11 and 7/8. So we need this to be bigger. The thickness of the leather will affect how it fits, and the thickness of the pockets also will affect it. So we need to have that a whole inch. So let's measure it and see if this is going to fit in there. Okay, so we're going to start here and we're going to go all the way over here. So 11 and 7/8 is almost 12. Okay, so we just have one more eighth of an inch, and it would be 12 inches. Okay, so we can round up to 12. That's okay. And this is 13 and 3/8. And that's how wide this is. So this is definitely going to fit in here because it's in that 1 inch mark. Okay, it's actually going to have a little bit of extra room, but it will definitely fit. Okay, and there we go. See, and it does have a little bit of, you can tap it down like that, and then you can see right, oops, let's get that. It does not want to focus that close, but you can see there's a little bit of extra room there. So you know that it's going to fit in there, no problem. And so that one fits. Okay, so this one, so this next one is a moleskin. It is the same height, basically. I didn't take the height measurement, but the height measurement is the same, and which is 8 1/4. I believe that's what it is. 8 1/4. Yep, 8 1/4. So these are made for notebooks that are 8 1/4 inch tall. So just keep that in mind, and I'll give you that length measurement here. It is going to be 9 1/8. So let's measure it. Okay, so it's 5. Okay, so let's clear this out. All right, so this is 5 1/4 inches wide. So we're going to do 5 1/4 times 2 because we have front and back, and equals 10 1/2. Okay, and now we need to measure the width. And for the width, we're going to get 7/8. Okay, so we're going to do plus 7/8 equals 11 3/8. Okay, let's put it in there though. Okay, because as you can see, this one, we compare it. Okay, this one is longer. The one on the bottom is wider, not longer, wider, and the one on top is narrower. However, the one on top, or the black one, the moleskin, is a lot wider than the Midori paper notebook. So that's where the secret lies, is the length all the way around here, okay, has to match here. Oh, also I forgot to tell you, when you're doing it this way, you also have to add a 1/4 of an inch, because the corners here take up a 1/4 of an inch. And so let's add that too, plus 1/4. Okay, so 11 5/8, which is just over 11 1/2. So anyway, I know this is confusing. I'm going to do this a couple more times though to show you how it does, and hopefully it will be less confusing the more times you see it. Okay, so I'm just going to stick this in here. Okay, and as you can see, it does fit, but it's got a lot of room. Okay, because it's almost 2 inches. So people that are asking about the moleskin expanded, I think is what it's called, that would definitely fit in here, because there's plenty of room for it. Okay, so it fits, but there's a lot of extra room with that one. Okay, next I have, this is an Archer and Olive Okay, this is not an Archer olive, but it is an Archer olive. It's made in the same exact company, and this is an actual branded Archer olive here, and it's got the Big Dipper on it. But you can see the labels are exactly the same, even the foiling. They're made in the exact same place, the same company that made this. Anyway, it's an Archer olive for all intents and purposes. It just doesn't have the branding on it, but it's the same thing. So this one here, let's measure it. So this one is, get that lined up. It's 5 5/8. Okay, so let's clear this out and get that on here. 5 5/8. And we're going to times that by 2. Okay. Oops. 2 equals. So 11 1/4. Okay. And then we're going to add the width of the spine, which is 7/8. Okay. So plus 7/8. And then let's not forget our 1/4 inch. So 1/4. Okay. Plus 12 1/8. Okay, so it's 12 3/8. So that should fit inside of our cover, because our cover is again 13 3/8. So it's exactly an inch. So it should fit. It also should fit very well, because that 1 inch mark is that's the key, that 1 inch. This is going to go in here. And I think this is a little bit shorter than 8 1/4. Yeah, it's 8 1/8. Okay, so let's put this in here. Okay, and we got to move it around a little bit because it didn't go in straight, which is totally fine. Not a problem. Okay, and as you can see, it fits in there very, very well. Let's try another one. Now, this is a Leuchtturm notebook. And Leuchtturms are probably one of my favorites. Okay, again, it's 8 1/4 tall, but let's get its measurements. Okay, let's see if the dress will fit. Okay, so this is 5 3/4. So 5 3/4 times 2. Okay, plus okay. So this is 3/4. Okay, plus 3/4 equals 12 1/4, and then we have to add that 1/4 inch because the corners take up a 1/4 inch. So it's going to be 12 1/2, because, well, that's just how math works. Okay, so that is very, very close to being within that 1 inch there. It's like just like 1/8 inch off, but I know that this is going to fit in here because this is actually the cover for this book. So I know it's going to fit. There it is. Fits right in there. Okay. Like a glove. Fits great. Okay. And so this one here, it's some beautiful paper. This notebook is I got it off of Etsy from a maker in Japan. I'll try to find a link to the Etsy store and put it in the video description down below. If you're looking for a nice paper, it does not feel like Tomoe River paper though. It's thicker, but fountain pens look very nice on it. And I haven't used this one yet, so let's measure it and see if it fits. I think we all know the game now though. I think we all know that it's going to fit. Okay, so it's 5 3/4. So it's exactly the same as this one. So it's the same height, same width, and we know it's going to fit. So I'm not going to take the measurements again because it's the same. but I'll just slip it in here anyway, just to show you. This is a soft cardstock cover. I'm just gonna slide it in, and of course it fits. Okay, so that's how those work. So you just want to make sure that the length of your notebook, so let me give you the formula again, okay? The formula is the width times 2, the spine, okay, plus the spine, plus 1/4 of an inch. And whatever that number is, whatever the sum of those numbers are, should be less than 1 inch of your notebook. Now this is true for the A5, it's true for all of them. I'm going to show you on a couple of other ones so that you can see that it's true for all of them. Your leather cover needs to be right around an inch longer than your notebook. That's the secret, okay? Now if you have one of these, you can just measure it all the way around. Okay, and you can go like this and go all the way around. It's much easier. Okay, and that's 12 inches according to this. And so that's going to be within plenty of room. Okay, and that's great. So there we go. That's the A5 size. Let me show you a couple others just so that we thoroughly have exhausted this and you know exactly what to do, okay? That's my goal. I want to make sure you know exactly what to do. Okay, so this is 4 and 3/8. 4 and 3/8 times 2 equals 3 and 3/4, or 8 and 3/4. And then the width of it, my spine's bent, so I'm going to measure over here where it's not bent. So the width is about 1/2 inch. So plus 1/2 equals 9 1/4 plus 1/4 equals 9 1/2. Okay, so this is the B6 Slim size. B6 Slim is just under 7 inches, so it's 6 7/8. And this is a B6 Slim cover, and it's 10 inches wide. Okay, so this is going to be right in that 1/2 inch mark. Okay, so it's going to be a tighter fit, but I honestly would not go closer than 1/2 inch, guys. I really wouldn't, because it will be too tight of a fit and you wouldn't be happy. You want there to be a little bit of room in there. Okay, so there we go, and that is nice and snug. So at 1/2 inch, it's very snug and fits very well. It's a good fit. Okay, the next one is the B6. So this was the B6 Slim. Okay, and these are B6. So this is the Stology. So this is 5 inches wide exactly. So a B6 should be 5 by 7. And this is 5 by 7 1/8. That 1/8 of an inch isn't going to make any difference. But okay, so 5 times 2 is 10 plus, let's add this. Okay, 1/2 plus 1/4 is going to be 3/4. Okay, so it's 10 3/4. And let's measure this all the way across. So it's 11 3/4. So that's that 1 inch happy place, remember? All right, so let's see how this fits in there. This is the Stology. And there it fits, just like it's supposed to.